Welcome to the Picture of Success podcast. Here we speak to outstanding mid-career professionals who have made their mark at a young age. Here you can experience the journey and the process they go through to achieve success and adapt the learnings to achieve your own dreams and purpose. And today in this show, I have Yap Far Loon, a cross-industry thought leader with lateral communication experience. With over 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, research, market research, delivery of management of consulting services, he is today the founder and principal of Aleevar Consulting, a boutique consulting specializing in growth consulting by providing services, namely market and consumer research, as well as organization strategy development. Having engaged in many stakeholders, both from public and private sectors, including GLCs and state-owned companies, Far Loon has specialties in customer experience management, government relations, and stakeholder management, primarily in the domain of marketing. Far Loon, it's awesome and amazing to have you in the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for having me here, Yazid.
It's my pleasure, Far Loon. Far Loon, I've known you for many years and we've actually literally been classmates together. But for the benefit of the audience out there, can you tell me about yourself?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much again for this opportunity. Well, let me just share a little bit about myself before I go. You can go deep into what I do. No comms, I will share everything I can. This is a beautiful exchange platform. And by the way, for everyone's benefit, this is the first time being interviewed as a person, not as a company. Thank you.
All right.
I'll begin with a little bit of myself. My education is I finished in '96. I finished my electrical and computer engineering, and I've got my MBA in finance. That's where I met Yazid.
Myself? Yep.
Exactly. And my sector experience, I covered in such a small little tenure, about over 25 years working. I've covered three parts. Initially, there's three stages in my sector experience. The first stage is I was a technical specialist doing manufacturing of and assembly of printers, computer printers. And I do testing semiconductor memory modules. The second part is where I had do telecoms. And I was a system engineer, dimensioning telecoms. You're talking about your old 2G, 2G, and then now
that's a long time ago.
Yes, long time ago. So I have a very small stint, about 10 years of telecoms as a telecom vendor, telecom equipment vendor. So finally, my third part will be the market research and consulting. Now, the lateral shift. So after about over 20 years of working, not very long, not very short, I decided to do a lateral shift. Now, why do I say lateral shift is, it's not going up, but end of 2018, I opened up a shop. Well, the nice way to say is I opened up my own practice. Now, I'm very fortunate. I happen to know a friend of mine. His name is Kushari Lofty. So he and I started a company. So when I did that, there is a lot of people ask me about this. Even in I give interviews to young people who want to join my company, he will ask me the same question: why you move? So let me just tell you a little bit. When we want to move, the first thing I do is, what was I doing for the past 20 years? Do I do well? Yes, I do all right. But the thing is, you have a purpose in the life. That's where you're chasing for. So what was the purpose of that shift? What do you call that? The shift is to have a productive and quality life, and as meaningful as long as we can, which means, in one word, don't retire. So what is my current state? The boutique consulting sounds very fashionable. I must say, I must say, we are we call it a one shop for all to do all the projects that's related to information. So I must say that. So we do very well in information, which means business advisory that we do are serving companies want to know the market. So anything that is outside their company domain, which is marketing related matters, that's where we come in. So a lot of companies do a lot of internal or alignment organization, but I think the external part is where we do very well. So what keeps me awake every day? You ask me this a little bit myself. I find new topic and new challenges. The spectrum, a lot of people ask me, so which sector do you do? A specter quite a wide. Some people think that, hey, are you trying to hustle your way? But I say no. It happens to be fortunate that is maybe a little bit luck that I done a little bit on F&B. To financial services. For example, I understand a little bit on halal F&B market. Even commercial kitchen ventilation that I did recently. Two, things on Islamic pawnbroking, Al-Rahnu. I also do things, healthcare to housing. For example, retail pharmacy, retire, and then on the healthcare is retirement village to affordable housing. So I should stop before I go on and on about myself. And yes, that's a little bit about myself.
That's quite an interesting thing, right? I think a lot of my audience are also engineer by training, right? But you graduated as an engineer, but over the past 20 plus years, right? You have transitioned from an engineer to a marketing expert in a sense, right? Can you tell me a bit more about that transition period? Like, how did you actually be from an engineer to a marketing and market research expert? And what is it actually, market research? And how important is this market research to businesses and organizations?
Right. Thank you so much. So you put me a very good point. Why is the shift? Now, I was trained as an engineer. As a young man, when you come in, you do not know anything. For example, my dad that time said, hey, today, back in the 90s, 95, I'm sorry, back in the 90s, early 90s, there's only a few jobs, technology jobs like electronics engineering, chemical engineering. Maybe computers just begin to start. So my dad would say, hey, go for the engineering.
Typical Asian,
you
right?
have a job
Doctors,
there.
engineers, lawyers, that's it, right?
Yes. But I thought I want to be a doctor. I think I'm kidding myself. No way I can be a doctor. No way. So which means I spend my time doing engineering, and I happen to be in Singapore for the last 7 years. 7 years. I lasted about 7 years in a huge company. These are huge companies. They are not small company, manufacturing. So they do very well. You have all these stocks. They pay you. They take care of you. All these things. So now you do very well. But then after a while, manufacturing is still manufacturing. You learn a lot. Good camaraderie. You have a good friends. Good supervisors. Everything is so well. Training are all done very well. They pay lots of money for you to train. That's did very well. Now then, when you come back to Malaysia, so I still do telecoms a little bit. So the shift is telecoms. So who would you want to hire? Engineers in manufacturing move to telecoms. Wait, back in 99, telecom was booming. 95 telecom was booming. So that time, 3G was just starting. So everybody goes in, and I happen to be hired. Another large companies, which I don't expect. So I'm very fortunate. So after a while, telecoms didn't do very well because everything about cost cutting. There's also technology.
Competition.
2G, 3.5G. You call it 4G and now 5G. So I have lost count for a while. But I got a learning. The learning is about, you understand technology, you touch people's life. That's where I got a good break. That I moved to market research. I happened to be hired. So when I did market research, I realized something that is different from technology. which is the first thing I learned. It's called social scientist. From there, it changed the perspective of what you do in your life. For example, you are doing a healthcare, you are doing telecoms, and someone is doing housing. There's one thing in common. It's called social scientist, social engineering, and everything about the social cause and effect, relationship. And that's where the research comes in. The people research, the consumer research, economics. That keeps me awake. That was my change. Then you ask me now, what is it about the market research here? Now, most of the time, when there's what is the purpose of the company being approached? Now, they always the companies organization are looking for normally growth. They're stuck with growth, or they want to do a market entry, or they want an impact assessment because they've done a programs for a while, or they want to buy companies, or they want to be bought. That's some reason. So another one is they want to have more customer. We call it lead generation.
Right.
Now, I will give you one example so that it's clarified. Now, the service that we provide are information that is outside their company, which is the market information, which covers where we can provide market research, customer research, financial analysis. After we get some information, we even look at their company financing. If you're talking about mergers acquisition, we also look at how they organize their, we call it program management information office. We can do that. We provide workshop, so we align with the stakeholders, and also business matching. Now, some of the things like what is a skill set to have market research is you must be good at designing research. So in this case, it's a consumer research or a company research. So you must be good at interview skill. You must good at statistics. A little bit, not too much, good enough to say it's probability. I'll talk about this.
And this is just like an engineering skill, right? As well, right? We learn this in
yes,
as well, right? It's transferable skills.
Yes. To be exact, I will tell you to be exact. To be exact is project management from Prince 2, the British system. You study the British system, let's say you go to a course called Prince 2, you will get what I say. And here's the best part. When I started the company, I didn't go to Prince 2. When I try to conceptualize what I want to do, it's actually Prince 2. By the way, I didn't go through Prince 2. Right. So that's where it comes in. So now let's talk about what did I talk about purpose? Now, I have give you an example now. For example, that a company, let's say a retail pharmacy, when I was a first break, a retail pharmacy, I got a job from them. So this job, the retail pharma is one of the largest in Malaysia. They say they want to have a growth purpose. In the next 5 years, they want to hit 2x.
Right.
So we asked them today, sir, what do you want us to do? So number one, we want 4 items from you. And by the way, this is inside my use case in the company. Case study. Number one, we want to know our customer. Who are they in Malaysia? We want to know who are our competitors. And we want to know how much money we spend on advertising and then get back the money. That means every ringgit that you spend, how much ringgit comes back. And finally, can you teach my team how to do market research?
Capability building.
Yes, I said, sir, I'll do it for you. I got a job. So I'm very fortunate I got a job. So when I do the job, and you ask me, how do I ask question? How do I ask question? You got a job, I got 4 items in my head, no? So I will not say it's academic, but in reality, there's this thing called balanced scorecard.
KPIs.
Yes, this is very true in all organizations. And nobody talks about it, but it's inside. Nobody talks about it inside. And I've seen big conglomerate doing it. I accidentally see them doing it, but okay, I don't even want to say. Now, so we look at their customer. So we ask questions all related about the customer. Number one, customer. Number two, we ask all the questions that is related to their internal organization, how they move, how they supplies. We also ask all the learning and development. And finally, we look at whether this works with financials. So the financial bit, somehow I'm not doing it. Another consultant doing it. Oh, thank goodness I don't do it. So I do that. In this case, I understand a little bit, three of them. That's good enough. That's all I want. I don't want to be hustling everything. No. So
You're a
from
specialist
here,
in certain areas, right? You don't want to be jack of all trades and master of none. That's not consulting.
all right. I simply cannot do financial analysis, but I can read your company information just to serve certain purpose. Now, the third one is after with all the, let's say I found out, okay, right, we design a research, we need a survey for you. We need to interview the stakeholders on the medical association, pharmacies, also the wellness. Then we need to interview your storekeepers. And then finally, we interview all your members of your loyalty members. From there, we come up with the analysis. We say that which are the shortage, which are the gaps. So there's always, when you say, people say that you have a current state, then a future state. So what's the gap? So gap is the action plan. So we come up with business advice. So business advice means we look for what kind of action plan I should tell you. So the action plan normally are marketing related information. For example, again, little bit academics. You have these 4 P's or 6 P's: pricing, placement, promotion, and then product. So then we put a little bit SWOT and TOES. Well, just SWOT and TOES. So TOES, you put a strength over opportunity or strength over weaknesses. So these are the things that you put it up. That will be quickly find out that is a strategic choice for you to do the action plan. So the action plan will come in. All right, we look at your social, we look at your marketing channel. Let's say the placement, how you promote your marketing channel. You have a Facebook, you have a social, you have Twitters, you have your e-store, whatsoever. We look at it. We look at all the message. Then we tell you what are the gaps because we did a survey for you. So this is one. So you can cover all the 4 P's as much as you want, as long as you want. So at the end, it could be end up 17 action items. Just because I do a
Market research.
Engagement.
Yes.
17 action points. And this action has by phase. Okay, so we not go to too details, but this is how it works.
Right. So as you can see, right, there's a lot of things that you've learned and gained in the sense, right? And I also know that you also have some work done as a pro bono work, right? And I think can you actually elaborate a bit more? I think you've used your transferable skills in market research to actually help Malaysians own their first home. Why don't we talk more about that?
Yes, sure. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm currently an advisor in market research in a yayasan called Yayasan My First Home. YMFH, Yayasan My First Home. Let's call it My First Home Yayasan.
How did you get into that, right? How did
that's
you
where
get
that's where yes, that's where the juicy bit comes in. Now the founder, let me describe a little bit about the Yayasan My First Home. The founder is Tan Sri Vincent Tan, the Berjaya Corporation chairman, and the deputy chairman in this case is Datin Sunita. She's a Dutch lady chair, and also a board of a few public listed company. So to get the Yayasan is set up with being conceptualized back in as early as 2019, and it was where they get together a group of trustees and also advisor. I'm one of the young guys to get into being advisors, and I was helping a bit on information because I understand information, understand how to read, and understand data. And I love data. Give me as much data, I will tell you what can happen. So this is what I did. And with with all such a with all the supporting staff, they managed to launch the Yayasan on 3rd of March together with Yang di-Pertuan Agong in Berjaya Times Square.
Amazing.
So Yes, yes. And Tan Sri Vincent Tan, sometimes we call it TSVT. He donate from Berjaya Malaysia Foundation, another personal foundation. He donated 5 million to Yayasan My First Home, 5 million ringgit. So during the conceptualization, so a team with the team of the advisors sit and for quite a long time, we started 2019, then 2020 we cannot meet each other, but virtually, and then we also deliberate. So we understood when Tan Sri mentioned that the first time he wants to come in is affordable housing for the B40 or the lower income group, I should call, should have an equity to the country for the prosperity of the nation, or you risk instability. So he pictured this very simple. He said that today, if my driver is paying 900 ringgit for a rental, it could be channeled to a home as a home ownership. But the challenge is a lot of people don't have down payment for a house and they can't get loan approval. That's where you come from. So with this, it started off with the objective is to have home ownership for the lower income group. And the home ownership income group, when you want to assist them, the spectrum is quite wide. You can be a rental basis, you can be a low-cost housing, and you can be a middle open market, and then you can be high-end. So in this case, it's more on the home ownership for the affordable housing. So you're talking about circle about 200,000 to 300,000. If it's a federal territory. There is about 300,000, below 300,000. But if it's Selangor, it's about 250,000. So why? So in this case, we look at the supply and demand. We cover a lot of things during the last 2 years before we actually launch. So for example, we look at the supply of the house, we look at the demand. So the supply side, we look at the cost of housing, we look at the loan, we look at the accessibility loan, we look at the demand of people who are under 5,000, and we look at the employment. And after deliberation, we realized that the biggest challenge is loan rejection. This is the topic that a lot of people cannot touch. A lot of people are trying to help. So the foundation immediately said that today, I can build a house, yes, together with Berjaya Land. I can build a house, 250,000, let's say it's Selangor or any other places. But I need to settle how can you get the loan. So which means the foundation will look into all these people who are trying to own a house and see what happened to the loan rejection. If they approve not, and then how can they help? How can they assist it? So this assistance is currently ongoing. And today, the details of the activities, there's an open day. I think if it's right, I can even announce an open day. There's an open day coming up. So today, I will not tell too much of the activities, but more on how can we assist those people who get loan rejected, who are seriously want to own a home. Now, the organization today is led by Ms. Lachmi Devi, and they are working with programs. They meet both federal and state level developers, banks to assist the B40, how to get the loan. It's trying all the ways, because the challenge is if you are rejected by a loan because you are blacklisted in the scoring system, the credit score system, that is the challenge. So how can we tackle them? So it can be very technical. So, and this is what they're trying to do. Now you ask me, what's the measure? In the news conference, the chairman, Tan Sri Vincent Tan, he said that we want to target 1,000. Let's start with 1,000. By no means just 1,000, as much as we can. Let's start with 1,000. So this is what we're trying to do. So my capacity is to support them in any ways in information. And if there's anything on things that they're lacking, for example, survey or teaching all the information, I will come in. But we have started the groundwork, and now today, the foundation is running full force. So that's where I came from.
That's amazing, Far Loon. I mean, right now, not only you have actually founded your organization, you're actually doing meaningful work, changing people's life, something that's a bit purposeful in that sense, right? Who knows, just by looking data, you're actually transforming lives, allowing people to have homes in that sense, right? I think that's amazing job, right? Um, the things that you do, the career journey that you went through, it's amazing, transitioning from engineering to market research, now helping people to actually have homes, right? And someone who just started their career, someone who's actually studying right now would be looking up, how can I have a job that's not only great but also purposeful itself in that sense, right? In that sense, Far Loon, do you have any advice for any young people out there in search for an enriching and purposeful career?
That's that, that is a very good question that it will take me a few days to answer, but for you, I'll try to answer in 5 minutes. Let me start with this thing. Now, for a young person who wants to come in to the workforce, the first thing is learn as much as you can. So number one is when you start a new job, I'll start at the stages. People who start with a brand new career, meaning they just come in the workforce. Some people in the workforce for maybe 5 or 10 years, or 10 to 20 years, or maybe people who are already 30 years. I will start with how much I can cover the spectrum. Let me start with the youngest one. The youngest one is, again, everybody starts with, do you have a purpose? Your purpose today is to learn. Not so much on, you need to get a lot of money. So for the purpose of learning, you must have also a balanced quality of life. So in the first 3 years, get a job, do it first if you can. But if the market is not good enough, maybe some people don't have a choice. Immediately start with their own business. It can happen. Now, before I say in any spectrum, I would say that there is 5 things you need to do. 5 things you need to do in the journey of your career, meaning how you want to work. I'll start with the purpose of your work. Then I'll start with what kind of skill set you have to. Then I'll start with how you balance your quality of life. Finally, how you finance your life, including financing your business. And finally, you stock take what you want to do. Let's go this thing. Okay. Now, even you are in any of this thing, you want to make a jump, lateral jump, it's quite similar. It's just that it's different from every individual. I cannot say what is fits well for you. For example, now, if I go for quality of life today, you work for 6 months, you work for 10 years. Okay, you work. Okay, today you have a good job, you get paid very well, you have a purpose. Your purpose is today you are supposed to sell a product. For example, you're supposed to sell you're running an F&B food chain. Okay, you do very well, all these things. So if you're happy with your life, why change? But the purpose itself, that means you have served people, and then you have served the community. And let's say you do halal, you have served the halal, you have bring up the halal, you have improved the halal process. That's very well done. So is there a reason for you to move? Right? Maybe you want to move because you are having you want to find something new. You want to go out of F&B, maybe. Or you think today you are managing a lot of constraint. You don't have a development. Okay, makes sense. Now, having said that, but if you want to move, then we ask you this question now. What is your skill set? Number 2. What's the skill set? Your skill set is you managing all these people and you're managing the process. You're very good at process, or you like to sell, or maybe you like to analyze, your analytic skill. So these are your skill set. Or maybe you are just simple person who like to do project management only. So these are the skill set that have within yourself. So if you want to do things like you want to move outside your domain totally, you want to have a new adventure, which means I want to open my own shop. Then it's a different story. Your skill set has become suddenly is all on you. The burden is all on you. You need to know interview skills, sales skills, analytic skills, Everything, engagement skill, everything you must know. So can you do that? Not everybody can do that. Fine. Then you find partners, friends, or suppliers to help you. That can also happen, but you need to be in control. And the third thing I want to say is the balancing of quality of life. Now, when you change your life, change your career, you have a good career in F&B, we mentioned. Okay, let's say you are a quite senior guy. Suddenly say, I want to move to a new role. Okay, or I want to move totally my own shop. So you have to ask your family. You have to ask your family too. You have to ask who around you that how is it, and you need the assurance. And that assurance is something that please prepare before they will say that, hey, why are you doing this? If you're trying to serve your purpose and you are quite, I must say, you're quite selfish. So in my case, when I moved that time, I have whole family support, including a lot of stakeholders that invest in the company. So this is what it. Yep. And finally, that can you finance? So you move to a new company, it's good, they get you better pay. What happens if you don't move to you open up a new shop? That's different. Then you start financing it. Can you finance your company in the next 6 months or a year? Bear in mind that if you open up a company, you might not be making money. So the only way to look profitable is, it always have revenue, sales, or we call it revenue over the operation expenses. Profitable is the revenue minus the expenses. So if your expenses is zero, fantastic. What is expenses zero? Your salary is zero. So I can say. So in that case, can you do that? And then you must remember that all these things has sometimes you cannot say finance is the only thing, but you must also take a bet. Say, can you do it? If you can do it, why not try if you believe? So I must say the skill set that you have and your purpose must be very strong. And the product that you just want to serve the market may not be in the market, but you think you can do it, and the buyer of your product is there, why not? So for those people who continue to stay in their company, for example, I would say that, you don't need to say that I want to move up immediately. You must say that, why don't you continue your work right now? You put one leg down out. Okay, for example, I'm interested in doing data analysis. My job currently is always a sales guy. I like to do trading. Then I draw a nice dashboard. I'm fascinated with doing dashboard. Then you do it. One fine day, you might be doing the dashboard that you're thinking about. I think that works, that really works. I think that's one. Okay. And then, so in the meantime, so you have people work the time, you start doing a stock take. The fifth one is stock take. You start to measure yourself. I think I want to do something that I get some customer or client, or I want to progress from a manager to a senior manager. Can I progress that way? Or if I don't progress this way as I thought, what have I learned? And what are the new skill set I learned again? Again, number 2 comes in. What is skill set? The skill set will help you a lot. So don't be afraid of if somebody gives you a lot of things. That's an opportunity. If somebody make you work a lot, that's an opportunity. Anything that you don't know, again, is opportunity. So this is what we all do very well. We do things that we don't know, and people think that we know. All right. I think that's what I want to talk about a little bit when the people who are young, or even people who are just about thinking, okay, I'm in between. So think about that. What is good for your purpose, your skill set, how you balance it, and then financing it. Finally, stock take what you do.
I love it. Always view things that are difficult as an opportunity for you to learn more, right? And we are coming almost towards the end of the show in that sense. That just we've talked a lot about purpose, we talked about opportunity, we talked about career transition, right? I mean, if you were to summarize this, if you were to summarize the things that you believe and put them in a billboard, what would that message be?
It's not one line. The one line my company has taken it, enabling this. My company has done the tagline, but for personally, I think you have 3 things you think about. You must have a grit. And then you must keep learning, and execute work plan. For example, grit. You must believe that you must have perseverance. That today I want to do this. For example, my perseverance is I want to settle a new topic. I want to cover it. I want to solve your problem. So money marketing problem. Have a grit. I will do it. By all means, I'll do it. Even if I'll do for less, I'll do more for less. Number two, I keep learning new topics every day. Recently, I'm talking about robotics in restaurant. It's a super topic. And because I was very fortunate, I was being engaged as a moderator. I keep learning. So I asked my team to help. Hey, let's think about it. I even talk about kitchen ventilation. We learn about this. Then finally is the third one is you execute a plan. So for example, if I give you a topic, you find out what is the topic, they keep executing it. That means you demonstrate it. So if that topic is about robotics, you find information, then you publish the article. So for us, we make ourselves publish the article in our website. It shows that you are demonstrating what you want to learn. It's not just I lip say that I want to learn. So again, 3 things I want to say: have a grit, keep learning, and execute your work plan.
I love that, right? If you even make it shorter, grit, learn, and execute. Grit, learn, and execute. I love that in a sense, right? And you actually talk about a bit more about the things that you do, right? But unfortunately, we are actually almost towards the end of the show. But for ladies and gentlemen, if you like to know about Aleevar, and I'm going to give you like a 30-second pitch, Far Loon, where does our audience can find more information about Aleevar, and what does Aleevar do that can change the life of its client?
Yeah. All right. First, you want to reach us, right? www.aleevar.com. ALEEVAR. ALEEVAR. So how do I come and have a conversation with us? Because any information, any process that you think of, talk to us. We are very open to speak to you.
Awesome. Far Loon is a world-class market researcher with experiences in the technical side, the social side, and the social aspect of things, and he has the purpose that can change the livelihoods of many Malaysians. So, ladies and gentlemen, please do support Aleevar. Come over to the website, ask questions, and as for Far Loon, connect with him in LinkedIn. Yapfarloon.com, right? Yapfarloon.com, Yapfarloon, and also go to Aleevar.com. All right. But we are right towards the end. Far Loon, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you too. Pleasure is mine.
Right.
Thank you, Yazid.
Welcome very much. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Another picture of success here, Yap Far Loon. For more information, please go in our channel, and if you like the contents we are doing, please click on the subscribe button below. I'm Yazid, signing off from this show, Picture of Success. Have a good day, ladies and gentlemen.
Good day.